Hi, welcome to my show, Chazz Palminteri Podcast. I'd like to remind you, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and you will be tuned in to all my podcasts. Today, I was thinking about what should we talk about today? And I was thinking about fame. Fame. Wow. What is the price of fame? Think about that. What is the price someone's willing to pay for fame? I remember in my time, the price was hard work, studying, becoming an actor, writer, director, knocking on doors, getting rejected. What is fame today to some people? You know, my son Dante and my daughter Gabriella, you know, they showed me all these things on social media. And they said, hey, Dad, look at this girl. She has 67 million followers. And I said, wow, 67 million? And he said, yeah. I said, well, let me see what she does. And he gives me the phone, and he shows me this girl dancing. And I go, oh, okay. She's dancing. It's not like she's, you know, taking her clothes off, or it's not like she's juggling something or doing something unique. She's just dancing. And I said, why does she have 67 million followers? He goes, well, she was one of the first ones in, and anytime she posts, people follow her. And I said, I'm happy for her, don't get me wrong. And I see a lot of these people, these young kids who are doing TikTok now, and they're making a fortune. And you know what? I'm okay with that. God bless them. But there's a sadness that I feel to them, that they're 14, 15, 16, 17. What is going to happen in the years from now when that part of the social media goes away? How are they going to handle that? You know, Shakespeare used to say there's three kinds of greatness. Those who achieve greatness, those who... Actually, wait a minute. No, he said those who are born great, those who achieve greatness, and those who have greatness thrusted upon them. And I think most of these kids are having the third one, greatness thrusted upon them. There's a difference when you work for it. And no, see, they just want to be famous. I didn't want to be famous. I just wanted to be good. Let fame take care of itself. Because if you're in the arts, or if you're in anything just to be famous, what do they say? Fame is fleeting. Life is real. You know, I remember Kirk Douglas, who said that the greatest thing, one of the great moments in his life was when somebody walked over to him, the great actor Kirk Douglas, and said, oh, aren't you Michael Douglas's father? And he said he was very, very happy to hear that. That Kirk Douglas, a legend. I did a movie with Kirk, a movie called Oscar. And they didn't know who he was. Think about that. They didn't know who he was. They knew his son because his son was more current. So I tell these YouTubers and TikTokers and Instagram and again, this is not sour grapes here. God bless them. You know, people would put down the Kardashians. Well, you know, they made all this money, you know, and I go, yeah, so? Well, they didn't realize. I said, no, you don't understand. No, they monetized themselves, and they did an incredible job. That takes brains. That takes brains, what they did. They had an opening. They saw 8 inches of daylight, boom, and went right through. And I admire every one of them. And they deserve all the millions they make. And I'm sure they know that this is here for a while. make the money, save your money. So I admire that. I admire these young kids on TikTok making all that money. I admire that. There is no sour grapes at all. I'm fine. My career is okay.
But what's dangerous to me is, so many people were inspired by you and went down this acting route to get well crafted and take years. There's other kids who just saw, if I get a couple operations and film myself, I'll be famous. Like the copycats are scary.
Copycats, yeah. But you know what happens to those, Michael? People who do that just get on TikTok to wear like tight pants, tight clothes, and obviously a lot of the ladies, and that's okay, and all right. And if you can monetize it, I guess it's fine. But just know it's not forever, and just know that one day it's going to end. So you better save your money and put it away.
Do you think people who are trying to make it now have to play by the new rules, or there's still room to go the classic route? Like how you, like
well, that's
what you
a good
did.
question, Dante. My son just asked me that good question, and I think that there's a reason why they call it a classic, because it lasts forever. I think if you make it the classic way of hard work and earning your fame, I think you cannot go wrong. That's like money in the bank. Money in the bank. The other way, this other way of TikTok, and again, I'm on TikTok. So, hey, I'm not saying something, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just concerned for the young people, for their mental health, because I know the price of fame. I know what it is to be famous. I have friends who are famous, and and we're all together, and it's crazy. People treat you differently. My wife has this funny saying. People always ask me, they'll go, "Oh, Chazz, you went to that restaurant?" I go, "Yeah." They go, "Well, how was it? How was it?" I go, "It was great." "Well, how were the people?" I go, "Oh, the people were great." And my wife will always go, "To you." To you. But how are they to everyone? And I would go, "Oh, come on." She go, "No." And she would remind me about that sometimes people are great to the star. I mean, I would feel bad sometimes, and I gotta do a podcast with my wife one day, soon. We would go to a restaurant, and they would pull my chair out, and she'd be standing there. They would take my coat, and she'd be standing there. The food would come with 14 people, and I would get served first. Why is that? Because it's an amazing thing when you're a celebrity. And you know what that does? I have to tell you what that does. I'm pretty sure, I'm spoiled. Yes, I guess I am. And my son will tell you that.
Yes.
Yeah. And my son always goes, "Well, Dad has his, so I guess it's all right." What happens is that eats on you. If you're famous for a long time, you get used to people treating you a certain way. And you expect everyone to treat you that way, even your wife and your children. And sometimes you got to get a dose of reality where sometimes my wife will say, "Hey, bullshit, throw out the garbage." Or my son will say, "Hey, man, hey, Dad, we're all here right now. Could you wait to eat until we all get here?" Because I've seen things where famous people show up 2 hours late, and the person will walk in and say, "I'm sorry." And they go, "Oh, that's fine. That's okay." They don't want to say nothing.
But it's dangerous because you experienced this and you earned your fame. You're very talented. Now, what about these kids who are so famous? What are they going to do in like 2030?
I don't know, Michael. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they save their money. If you're listening out there, put your money away. Somebody told me once, God, I don't remember. It's a famous thing. I'm not breaking any ground here, but they said there's 5 stages of an actor. And I'll use my name. Who is Chazz Palminteri? What's Chazz Palminteri's availability? I must have Chazz Palminteri. Get me a young Chazz Palminteri. Whatever happened to Chazz Palminteri? Those are 5 stages of an actor's career. Or anybody who's famous. Think about that. I mean, I say to my kids who are in the arts, I'll say, well, Paul Muni was a great actor. Who's Paul Muni? James Cagney was a great... Who's James Cagney?
I have never said who is James Cagney.
Not you, but Gabriella has. Who's James Cagney? Who's Humphrey Bogart? They don't know. As great as these actors were, they don't know. Okay? So, people who are famous, you know, the world doesn't revolve around you, and don't think you're hot shit. Because be grateful that you're making the money, but put your money away because I got to be honest with you, you'll never know when it's going to end.
Now, when you first got famous, because I'm obsessed with when people first get famous, I've seen it happen a few times where it's almost like this cloud comes over someone and they just disappear.
They disappear, right. It's almost like you're eating a brick every day, a brick, 2 bricks, 5 bricks, and people keep feeding you these bricks, and you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and before you know it, you don't even know who you are anymore. You don't, and it's sad.
Intense.
What?
That's intense.
That's really intense.
Why do people crave fame?
Well, you know what? People create fame because I guess that's human nature. I don't know. I mean, it's from the, think about it. When they were cavemen, the guy who was the greatest hunter, he was famous in the village. Oh, we got to go with him. I want to be with him. It's in the DNA. Okay, why is it that men are attracted to aesthetics and women are attracted to power? Think about that. That comes from the cavemen. The caveman was the biggest, the strongest. So if you were a woman, you wanted to be with him because you knew your children were safe and you were going to eat. He gets the food first, right? Now, why is it that men are attracted to beauty? Why? Because you look at her and you say, hey, I want my children to look like that. So it's a real strange thing. Think about it. And this is not, I'm not putting down men or women for women. I'm obviously I'm a man. But here's the difference. A woman, let's talk about a woman first. A woman will be in a bar, right? And she'll be sitting there and a drop-dead gorgeous, handsome guy will walk over and talk to her. And she will talk to him. But the minute that he opens his mouth and sounds like an asshole, she's done. She don't care about him. She will not sleep with him. No way, Jose. She's out of there. A man will talk to a gorgeous woman at the bar. And she could be a bitch and an asshole, but he's got to sleep with her anyway. He doesn't care. He puts it aside. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that women got it together more than men when it comes to relationships. Let's be honest. I'm not afraid to admit that. I mean, listen, I know men, who said that? Men are like dogs. Yeah. You know, they could, you know, was it Herbert Hoover? I think it was Herbert Hoover, the president. And they were on a farm. And it was an industrial farm they were getting when he was president. This is a true story. And they got split up and when they were visiting, and all of a sudden, his wife, Herbert Hoover's wife, saw these chickens. And she saw all these chickens, and she saw this chicken like making love, and everybody, they were all like having sex, some of the chickens. So she said, oh my God, she goes, look at that rooster. So he goes, yeah, he's with all the hens there. and he makes love many times a day. So she said, wow. She goes, do me a favor, tell that to my husband when he comes by. Trying to be funny, right? So the president goes by, and the guy relays this story. He goes, the first lady was just here and said that, she said, look at that rooster. Look, he makes love 20, 30 times a day. And the president said, really? You tell her, to the same hen? In other words, yeah, I'll do that. I can do that too, as long as it ain't the same hen. So they actually call that they call that the Coolidge effect. Actually, it was it was Calvin Coolidge. That's who it was, Calvin Coolidge. Where did I get Herbert Hoover? But anyway,
it's interesting though. You made a good point. Like fame was kind of always been a thing in society, even when there was no society.
Even when there was no society, there was fame.
It's interesting the point you made about fame kind of being part of it seems like fame every generation gets tamer and tamer. It's not about being the mob boss or the hunter and gatherer. Fame is slowly becoming more.
Fame is becoming easier to achieve.
It's becoming easier to get at a low level of fame. It's not easier to become De Niro.
No.
It's easy to be at a certain.
But a lot of people.
It's actually you could get. It's actually different. I know what you're saying, but you could actually be more famous than than my generation for less talent.
I mean, I take no sides, but what's the difference between De Niro and Logan Paul or whatever their names are?
Well, like an actual craft.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Mastery of
number-wise, it's becoming like these kids are shooting past the people that I would kill myself to meet.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't even know how to define fame at this point.
How do you define fame? Getting 85 million views on TikTok? I mean, what is going on here? 85 million? I mean, think about that. TV in its height never got 85. Did it ever get 85 million views? Or maybe in the 60s, I think.
Way back, yeah.
Way back. But not now anymore. I mean, so fame is different today than it was when I was growing up and working really hard. But you see, I've been around, obviously, for 30 years.
Yeah, and my point of view, I feel like fame's become kind of its own form of cancer in a weird way.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes, fame could destroy you. Think about how many people were destroyed by fame.
Fame is a bonus.
Fame is a bonus. And someone else told me this, that it's the process that's the reward, not the fame. Like, it's the process. I think of starting out, and I think of, everybody knows my story. You don't have to hear that. And starting out and living in a dump, driving a dumpy car, being 38 years old, trying to make it. And then finally writing A Bronx Tale and busting out. You can't put a price on that.
Don't be sleeping on your level, because there's beauty in the struggle. J. Cole.
Right.
It's true. I mean, yeah, fame used to be for the underdog.
Right. And now people they'll dance on TikTok and get famous. And again, please, if you're listening to me out there and you're one of those on TikTok, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying to be careful that it's not what you think it is. And I'm trying to give you a cautionary warning. Save your money. Put your money away. It's not forever. It could change as fast as it came. It could go faster away.
Now, is there anyone you know personally, you don't have to name names, but where a boost in fame totally affected them immediately, like they fell apart?
Oh, yes. We don't have to go there.
Because there's levels to fame.
Yeah, well, I talked about that on an earlier show where I said that fame, some of these people, they get on a show and they become famous, they think it's them. It's not you, it's the show. You know, we talked about that. And all of a sudden they start making demands and everything, and before you know it, they get cut from the show. And then they're back on the unemployment line looking for a job. You know, be humble. Be grateful. You got 85 million followers. Be happy with that. You want more? Great. But there's also the cost of fame. What are you willing, what are you willing to do to get famous? Like some of these girls are willing to, like, I don't know, they take off their clothes on TikTok and hey, man, you know what? Don't get me wrong. Some of them are absolutely beautiful, and I'm not putting down anybody, But, okay. But what else are you going to do in Act 2? You will be an old person one day. I hope you're saving your money. That's all I'm saying. This podcast, this episode was really about the price of fame. And it's a cautionary tale on being famous for all these people in social media. And I'm not just talking about the girls, the guys too. You get guys that they live and breathe. Well, I got 5 million followers. Okay. Well, let me explain something to you. More people knew James Cagney than know you right now. And they don't know who he is now. Okay? They don't know who he is. And Humphrey Bogart. They don't even know who he is. And they were famous for 50 years. So don't make a big deal out of it, folks. What I do is I take the work seriously. I don't take fame seriously. And I think that's the way I am. I mean, I know when people come down to visit me at my restaurants. I have 2 restaurants, which I'll shamelessly plug right now. Chazz Palminteri's in Manhattan on 30 West 46th Street. Great restaurant. And my other restaurant in White Plains, 2464 Mamaroneck Avenue. Is it Mamaroneck Avenue? Right. Yes. We're opening up in a few weeks here in March. And I'm there in a restaurant. I go there and I sit down and people come over to me. Hey, Chazz, I love your movies, blah, blah, blah. And I talk to them. I take photos with them. I enjoy kibbutzing a little bit and discussing things. Then I have to get back to, my dinner or whatever. So it's like, be real. Be real. I put my pants on one leg at a time. There's no difference.
I hope so.
Right. I mean, there's no difference.
And how would you tell people, because I've seen a lot of people do weird things to famous people.
Well, sometimes I get famous people, they come running over to me like now, you got to have some kind of decorum of respect, Oh, excuse me, Chazz, Mr. Palminteri, whatever, could I talk to you a second? Like when I'm eating, don't bother me when I'm eating with my family. If you see me finish and I get up to walk to the men's room, great, stop me. Or before the food comes, you want to ask me, fine. But while I'm eating, you can't expect me to stop eating, stand up, because I'll be doing that through the whole dinner.
Has anyone ever tried to join you at your table?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Join me. I get. Sometimes you get a person, we're sitting in a booth, the person just squat right in. And I'm looking at them like, are you kidding? They said, no, I just want to take. I said, no, there is no talking. Out. You just don't sit yourself down. I would never walk over to a table and sit down. Never. How could you do that? But you get that. It was a funny story. This is how crazy I am. I was in Milwaukee. I think it was Milwaukee. And I was, this is a funny story. And I was sitting in Milwaukee. I was in Milwaukee and I was at a restaurant, a hotel. I don't remember the name of the hotel. And I was meeting the great writer, Larry Wright. Lawrence Wright. He wrote The Leaning Towers. Great writer. I mean, just incredibly brilliant, knowledgeable. And he was a fan of mine, and I was a fan of his. I told him. And my agent set up a meeting with us. So I'm sitting in the lobby. I'm sitting in the dining room in the restaurant. And all of a sudden, this guy walks over and he says, hey, how you doing? And I go, hi. And he sits down, right? So I go, how are you? He goes, oh, great. So I said, are you hungry? We're going to have lunch. He goes, great, okay. So I said, what do you want? He goes, Caesar salad. I said, great. So we started talking. So I didn't want to bring up the book right away because he just sat down. So I said, oh, by the way, I love the book, The Leaning Tower. I just want to tell you, that's one of your great books. And he said, what book? I said, the book you wrote, The Leaning Towers. I didn't write a book. I said, I'm sorry, you didn't write a book, Delaney? He goes, no. I said, and also, as I'm saying that, this guy walks over, says, Chazz, how you doing? Lawrence Wright. And I shake his hand, and there's this guy sitting down next to me, and a Caesar salad comes, they put it in front of him, they put some in front of me, and he goes, and who's this? And I said, he's leaving, that's who this is. It was a stranger who just came over, and I thought he was Lawrence Wright. And this guy's sitting down. I said, take his Caesar salad. He can go. I go, what do you? He goes, well, you invited me for lunch. I said, I thought you were somebody else. And he left, and I sat down with Larry Wright, and we talked.
He ordered.
He ordered.
Wow.
He just said, well, you invited me for lunch. I thought. I mean, partly it was my fault because I thought he was was Lawrence Wright. But imagine that.
That's amazing.
Is that amazing?
Has anyone ever gotten in your green room? A lot of my clients, there's sometimes just random people in the green room.
Oh, God, yeah. Just coming in, wanting to talk to me. And the thing that bothers me the most, and I think I should tell all people out there about famous people, the thing they hate the most is when somebody goes over with a phone and they got somebody on their cell phone, they say, here, talk to my wife. That drives us crazy. It drives me crazy. I don't know who's on the line. You want me to say? He goes, yeah, say this. It's my wife. I don't know who it is. You could be taping something, and I don't do it. I won't do it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like the best way to approach is just to be super general and just maybe a photo.
The best way to approach is just be yourself. There's two types of people there's three types, actually, that approach you. The first type is they think they're your best friend. How are you? Oh, my God. I love your movies. Hey, listen, I'm having dinner tonight with my brother-in-law. Why don't you come over? I got my daughter's getting married next week. I want to invite you. I mean, come on. You're not my best friend. I don't know you. And then there's the other type when you meet. You meet them and they totally, absolutely ignore you and look at you with disdain. Or, yeah, it's true. Or they'll maybe say something like, if their friend wants a picture, they'll turn and look at you and go, hey, man, I don't know who you are, so I don't need to take a picture. Really? Yeah. I've seen it, and you just go, I'm not asking you to take a picture, okay? Don't come over to me then. You should have stayed there. Well, I don't know who you are, but I'll take a picture with you anyway. No, you won't. No, you won't. You won't take a picture with me. Okay, he was a gentleman. You're an asshole. Goodbye. And that's what I say. And then there's the third type that just come over, they're nice people. Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you. Just be yourself. And the best thing you could say to any actor, especially an actor or writer, director, is to say, hey, I just want to say I love your work. Boom. When you say that, you win the hearts of that person. You start out with that, you win their hearts. Because you say to yourself, he knows what I've done, not just the image of me, who I am. And that always...
I like when people stop you on the street and they go, where do I know you from?
No, I just keep walking.
They go, I know you from somewhere.
Yes, they know who I am.
Where do I know you from?
Yeah, that's my son. Said that. Yeah, they'll walk up to say, your face. I know you from someplace. I go, I don't think so, and I keep walking because I know what they're doing. They know me. They're just saying that to try to slide in that way. Just say it. Mm-hmm. Just say it, man. Don't be embarrassed. Just say it.
I mean, I'll never forget when I filmed you in front of your own mural in the Bronx. Right. All these people were rushing you. You have, it was the most people with face tattoos I've ever seen fangirl over anybody.
Oh, yeah.
They love you, man.
People have tattoos of my face. If you want a great tattoo, I mean, there is nobody better than this, and that is Bang Bang in New York. Bang Bang downtown in New York. I mean, Keith Hernandez, Mr. K. I mean, we're talking world class now. World class tattoos. And again, I'm not getting paid by them, but I've seen their work and it's pretty astounding. Bang Bang in New York. All of the artists there are on a top level. So I just like to give a plug because when I see somebody who does incredible work. Talking about fame in 2021, it's a big difference than talking about fame when I came up.
Right. It was very different in Prohibition.
Prohibition? You know what? I want to smack his face. You know.
Horse and buggy.
Horse and buggy, yeah, sure. You know, being famous in the 90s was a lot different than being famous now. So the people on TikTok, save your money. Put your money away. Don't spend it. And I wish you much success, but put your money away and don't take it so seriously. Okay? It's not a big deal to be famous for being famous. Okay? Think about what I said. God bless you. Thanks for visiting the Chazz Palminteri podcast. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, you write in Chazz Palminteri Show, just Chazz Palminteri Show at gmail.com. If you happen to see me down at my restaurants in New York or up in White Plains, come and visit. If you see me, come over and say hi. And I'll tell you, get away from me. I'm just kidding. All right. God bless you. See you soon.